What's going on, guys? Asian Guy here, giving you my initial reaction to the character teaser for Yoimiya, as well as sharing you guys my thoughts and opinions on the whole Yoimiya debate of whether or not she's the worst 5-star in the game, she's the best 5-star in the game, she's just okay. A lot of people are on the fence, but there's a lot of sound saying that she's garbage, and there's a lot of sound saying that she's going to be perfectly fine. I want to give you guys my 2 cents after the character teaser. So let's begin with the Japanese version, the same voice actor as Tosaka Rin from the Fate franchise. If you don't know, very, very, very popular character in that. So let's begin.
鳴上島の夏の象徴？ん？なんでそないのこと聞くんや？
The Kansai accent is great.
トーマのやつに言われたんか？
Her Japanese voice actor is so
周り
good.
の人に聞いてみ？
It's like a perfect fit.
鳴上島の夏の象徴か。
その答えはそうだね。
誰もが知っていることだろう。
There's some next level fan service for
答えは
Yoimiya
分かった
fans.
か？
ものなんかじゃないさ。
彼女がいなかったらつまらない夏になっちゃう。
もちろんあの子さ。
そう！鳴上島の夏の象徴はな。
Hanabi! Fireworks! Or for some people, Yoimiya herself.
結局何だったんだよ。
Oh, Paimon's like, what was it in the end? Fireworks! For those people who didn't get it, it would be fireworks. Or for some people, Yoimiya herself. Will this go straight to... Oh, it does. Nice. Let me leave a comment here.
The best thing about summer on Narukami
Bruh.
Island? Huh. What makes you ask that? Oh, Toma put you up to this.
Oh, English voice actor's
That's
decent
a
as
tough
well.
one. Why don't you see what everyone else thinks?
I like her English
The
voice.
best thing about summer on Narukami?
Ooh, good question. Let me think.
I think we all know this one.
Is that Zhongli's voice actor? That sounded very much like Zhongli.
So, did you find the answer yet?
It isn't a thing at all.
Right, summer just wouldn't be the same without her.
Who else could it be?
That's right. The best
I
thing
love
about
that.
summer on Narukami
I love
Island.
that. It's very cute. It's very cute.
What was it?
Will I be Constellation 6ing Yoimiya? No. The answer is no, guys. I will probably be pulling for her bow. Not really for her, but mainly for Child, for Tartaglia. But yes, let's talk about Yoimiya. Is she going to be good? Is she going to be bad? Right. So, if you are a meta slave, guys, let's get this out of the way. A meta slave is someone that plays by the meta to make sure that they can do 36 stars in the Spiral Abyss, or basically min-max and be as efficient as possible with their primo gems, pulling for the best characters so that they don't fall behind in the game. If you are a meta slave, guys, the safest bet is to be pulling for the Archons. And we know Baal is around the corner. I can guarantee, as an Archon, she is going to be cracked. She's going to be absolutely busted. No competition. You should not be pulling on any character banner other than, you know, these support characters like Kazuha, like Venti, like Zhongli, or like a Bennett, or like, most likely, I would assume Baal is going to be a support character, because it seems like Archons are going to be supports, and it's virtually impossible to power creep support characters because they're supporting your main DPS, and a main DPS is something that can easily be switched out for any other character that deals good amounts of damage. And essentially, whether or not what makes a DPS good is, can they do a lot of damage? And most of the time, this actually comes down to whether or not the support can enable them. And I'm going to assume, guys, that as the Electro Archon, she's going to have an insane kit, and she's going to be great as a support character. Zhongli is insane as a support character, arguably the best character in the game. Venti is insane as a support character, arguably the best character in the game. It just depends on your personal preference and your playstyle, but it is really very, very hard to debate the likelihood of Bennett Zhongli, Venti, even Kazuha being your best character in the game, or what you value as the most valuable character in your team, because they enable so many of your other characters to be playable or usable or just in line with the meta. And with that in mind, Yoimiya is not a support character. She does have kind of sub-support capabilities where she buffs your attack damage or your attack percentage of your allies. Constellations do make a big difference on her. In the trial that we got with her, which was in her story quest, she does have Constellation 3. So please do keep that in mind. If you thought she was really good in the story quest in terms of gameplay and how strong she was, she is Constellation 3. She does have a 5-star weapon at level 88 as well. Granted, she does have a full set of Noblesse, which is pretty garbage on her and pretty much useless on her. You don't want to be running Noblesse on her. You want to be running the new Shimenawa's Reminiscence set on her, the plus 18% attack, and then the charged normal plunging attack damage bonus on the 4-piece set. You do want to be running that on her. She is going to be a pyro bow character, very different to Amber though. She's going to be very similar to Child in the sense you press your elemental skill, you will be imbued with the element, in this case pyro, and you just go pew 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 pew. Now with Child can enable a lot of different reactions and has relatively good internal cooldown, but with Yoimiya, her internal cooldown does not work seamlessly, for example like Child Fish or Child Shangling, and rather it's not going to be able to vaporize on every single hit. It's not going to be able to overload on every single hit, and she has internal cooldown issues with that because she applies pyro simply way too quickly. And I would say her playstyle is going to be more like, for example, people who just like to Unga Bunga and brute force things, for example, with like Ganyu. A lot of people don't play Ganyu as Melt Ganyu. They just see the mono-type damage. Shao is the same thing. They don't really play reactions. Yoimiya, for me, I think is going to be the same thing. Now, the downside of this is that unlike Shao and unlike Ganyu, her damage is not AoE. It's single target focused, and in a game where there's a lot of stages, for example in Spiral Abyss, or a lot of difficult stages where it's not a single enemy, you're going to want way more than just single target damage, and you really do want to have AoE, or area of effect damage, for those who don't know what AoE stands for, where you'll be hitting multiple opponents at the same time, because there's multiple enemies, whether or not they have a lot of HP or small amount of HP, you want to be eliminating them relatively at the same time. It just makes your wave clearing faster in the game. Having said all of that, guys, is she going to be the worst 5-star in the game? I don't think so. I think that is still reserved for Chi-Chi, and I know a lot of people who are Chi-Chi mains will always be unhappy whenever people say Chi-Chi is the worst 5-star in the game. For me personally, I have absolutely no use for healing in the game anymore. At least Chi-Chi's style of healing is not really the same as Jean's. One click, everyone is healed. Chi-Chi's style of healing is not for me, and I do think that is why she's the worst character, or the worst 5-star character in the game. I think there's other alternatives which simply do her role better in terms of applying cryo, and in that regard, I don't think Chi-Chi is great. Keqing, also, again, this is going to upset a lot of Keqing players. I don't see a place for physical damage for me. I personally don't like Eula either, but having said that, a lot of people love Eula. Eula is really good at speed running stuff as well, and it just comes down to a matter of playstyle. I think Keqing, electro damage is not great right now. We look at Spiral Abyss floor 12, it's Electro imbued. If you use Electro on there, you're an idiot. That's what I used yesterday for Spiral Abyss. I use Electro, and obviously I was struggling a lot because they have insane amounts of Electro resistance, and physical damage is just not going to be very good against any enemies with high defense or resistance, unless you're going with Eula, who can actually shred enemies' defenses or resistances herself. Now, I do want to point to Eula as an example. A lot of people saw her, they looked at her and they're like, oh, she's trash. She doesn't have reaction. She doesn't do this or that. But actually, Eula is really good for clearing enemies that need to be one-shot, that need to be burst down like that very quickly. Eula is actually really good at doing that. And I do think Yoimiya will have a place in the future where she's going to be super meta, maybe for a period or maybe for a couple of events. And I do think Genshin Impact, or MiHoYo, is very good at cycling through characters and making them relevant, even though in the generic meta, they might be irrelevant. I do think Yoimiya's base damage is going to be good enough to warrant you to wish for her. If you are not a meta save and you just like her for her aesthetics, you like her for her playstyle, that is more valid than any reason that is meta. You should always be pulling for a character you enjoy, because aesthetically speaking, or lore-wise, or character-wise, that's how you're going to get the most enjoyment out of the game. If your enjoyment out of the game comes from 36 starring Abyss because you're a completionist and you're a meta save, that is also valid. If your reason is because, oh, I want the 50 extra Primo gems from 36 starring Abyss, I would not say that's a valid reason, guys. Because if you think about it, over the course of a year, every 2 weeks, you're missing out on 50 Primo gems. If the difference is 33 star, 34 star, 35 stars, and you can't get that 36 star, you're missing out on 50 Primo gems. And over the span of a year, you're going to get around, not even enough maybe, for one multi. One multi. It's going to cost you like 6-7 multis to pull for Yoimiya. It is 100% not worth it if the only thing you're thinking is whether or not I can 36 star Spiral Abyss. You should be saving for the Archon characters, saving for the anniversary. We don't know what the anniversary is going to entail yet, but I expect MiHoYo to do something huge. 28th of September is when the anniversary starts. I think the anniversary events will come after that. And I do think people should be holding on to their Primo gems if they're on the fence about Yoimiya. Again, if you like her aesthetic, you like her voice actor, they're all valid reasons. If you like her playstyle, then go for it. Absolutely go for it. You might not even win the 50-50, so then the next person that comes along, you'll be wanting to have the pity ready for them instead. And Yoimiya will definitely come back. Every single character is guaranteed to come back. I 100% assure you guys. Every single character will come back. Yes, Venti, Klee, Albedo, Child, all of these people, Zhongli, that have already come back before, they will come back again in some way, shape, or form. That's how gacha games work. Don't worry about, oh, if I don't pull her now, I'm never going to pull her. The only thing you should worry about is if I don't pull her now, when will I be able to pull for her again? There will always be the option to pull for her again. But again, the thing I want to emphasize, guys, is if you're missing out on 50 Primo gems and 36 starring Abyss because of that reason is stressing you out, don't be stressed over that. Because it's less than a Welkin moon. Over the course of a year, you're spending so much or expending so much time and pressure and stress to get 36 stars for a bonus 50 Primo gems for a Welkin moon. And for those people who are saying, oh, I'm F2P or I can't afford a job, over the course of a year, and there's going to be some real talk, over the course of the year, and I know this doesn't apply to everyone, but it applies to a lot of people, whatever your age is, if you cannot find $5 over the course of 365 days, $5 for a Welkin moon, which will easily surpass how much you'd be getting from 36 starring Abyss, then goddamn, what are you doing? What are you doing? Honestly, real talk, what are you doing? On that note, guys, it's a bit of a harsh note, I know. Pull for Yoimiya if you like her aesthetics. Don't let other people decide for you. Don't be a sheep. You decide for yourself after you test her out in the trial run. Do you like her playstyle? Do you like her voice acting? Do you like her aesthetics? If the answers are yes, then pull for her. If you don't, then don't pull for her. Don't be someone that follows the crowd. Don't be someone that has to ask someone else. I have my tastes. I like XYZ pizza flavors and pizza toppings, but I want to be cool and I want to be fitting in with the crowd. So I'm going to ask this content creator, I'm going to ask this person what their favorite toppings are, and I'm going to try and copy them. Don't be that person. Be yourself, guys. Don't be apologetic for who you are. Be unapologetically yourself with regards to which characters you like. You like what you like. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a wonderful, wonderful day, and bye-bye.